If anybody's in here, my apologies. Give me a minute. I'm still getting set up. Alright, we are finally live. I am just in the middle of sending out invites. I have no idea if anyone's even going to come tonight. We are finally live. Hey, what's up, Summit? Oh, wow. I actually, because it was Black Friday, didn't realize anyone was even going to come. Actually, let me kill the audio. Hey, can you guys hear me? Is it loud? I can't tell. No way. That doesn't sound right. Hey, can you guys hear me? I don't know. This doesn't sound good, but if it sounds good to you guys, great. Wait, I think I broke it. This doesn't sound. Oh, there we go. All right, got it fixed. It sounds good to you guys, great. All right, cool. I can talk now. I'm in the middle of sending out invites at the same time, but how's everybody doing tonight? Did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Yeah, we sound good. I'm just still sending out some invites. I like to do this to at least get it out there for everyone. Did you guys, anybody have any follow-up Thanksgiving dinners just to eat the leftovers? What's up, Scarecrow? What's up, Robert? Jordan? How you guys doing? Summit Cruise's motor blew up. I really hope that's not true. Oh, I need to hear, if there's a story, I need to hear the story right now if possible, if you can tell it. Let's see. Did I miss anyone? Robert, how are you? So I don't really have a subject for tonight. I just want to hang out with everybody. I'm trying to do more of these live streams as much as I can because I don't know. I want to just be able to see everybody, talk to everybody live because to be honest with you, I'm just tired of social media. I'm tired of type communication. I've always been better visually, verbally, stuff like that. So I have literally no subject. I guess if I was gonna pick something, just so you guys aren't staring at me trying to figure out what to talk about, I could. I don't know. What am I working on? I guess. What was I working on? Well, today I actually took the supercharger and the intercooler system off of the Miata, which just reminded me. Let me send an invite to. I have a friend who actually bought the supercharger and the intercooler, and I'm gonna actually send him an invite too if he's available. It'd be cool. He can hang out. That's what I was doing today for a little bit. Let's see, Robert, doing great. Hope your Thanksgiving was good. And I'm just messing with Summit. That's great. Do you? I don't know if I ever met you actually. Were you somebody that came with him when I met him? I don't remember. Maybe I do. Do you drive the? Or was that Dan who drives a Silverado? I don't know if I met Robert yet. Or if you're going under a completely fake name and I do know you, I'm sorry. Lunar, let's see. Took the hose off to find the coolant reservoir was cracked. Ordered a new one. Should be here December. Yeah, that plastic reservoir. Any plastic reservoir is always prone to cracking. But hey, what's up, Bo? I'm actually really excited to see how you make out with the Aeroforce. I thought about getting one of those for my Corvette because I'm running the Roots type. I'm running a Roots type supercharger, and there's not a lot of space to get a temperature probe on that supercharger because on the Corvette, The intake manifold is basically like the supercharger is so big that the entire intake manifold is taken up by supercharger, so I don't have a lot of room for a temperature probe. So I was thinking about getting an Aeroforce, so at least I can read the computers. You know what? I just realized I could probably just get live data and read it that way. Just during the summer, the car was having a problem, and I think my intercooler was the issue. So I changed the intercooler, and it's hidden inside the bumper now. What's up, Farex? Robert, haha, kid with the blue truck. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, how's it going? Hey, Mark, what's going on? How are you? So, what are you up to tonight, Mark? Farex, how's it going? Hopefully, you guys had a good holiday. I think a lot of people celebrate Thanksgiving because it's an American holiday. So hopefully, everybody had a good holiday. And at least if you weren't celebrating Thanksgiving, hopefully you at least had a nice couple days. I know I at least actually took the day off yesterday, which is very rare for me. Um, what are you guys up to tonight? I doing a live stream on Black Friday. I was really concerned that no one would come on because everybody was either shopping or tired. Uh, hey, you just get been. Let's see, Lunar. You just got awarded 4 months as a member and 4 day weekend. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I just realized what you did. I didn't realize you could do that. That's cool. You have priority messaging. Miss you, man. Hanging out with Summer and Robert. Yeah, you guys are a good group of guys. In fact, a lot of the people I interact with are good people. You, Robert, and Brian are really cool. There's very few people that are allowed to come to my shop, and you guys are always welcome. Pretty much anybody as part of my inner circle are invited. Let's see, and make sure I don't miss any questions. Yeah, so I also invited Wyatt. I don't know if he has a different name, but I put my Miata up for sale because I'm always worried about paying my mortgage. So I put the Miata up and it was supercharged, and then I decided to maybe just sell off my. I have a custom supercharger on it, and so I met a friend named Wyatt who bought the supercharger from me, and then for a few extra bucks I adapted one of my intercoolers to the car, which went together awesome. And I was able to build an intercooler for the Miata that's literally like you need to cut nothing, everything bolts in, it fits like it's made for the car, and the car drove amazing. So I'm hoping he comes on. I haven't shipped it out to him yet, but he was a really cool guy. Let's see, FarX just took the cruise down the road with the wastegate actuator, and it builds boost 10 times quicker. Yep. I'm not surprised. What? I don't know if you were watching your boost numbers, but did you get an increase in boost, or did you just get like boost earlier now? Oh, Jordan, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you guys donating. It's a huge help. Let's see, Jordan. Do I get privilege? It's me, Jordan, from this. Jordan, you are definitely somebody I consider part of my friendship group. So you always have a privilege. Um, let's see, Lunar. And again, Jordan, I do appreciate a donation. Donations go a long way. Pretty much any money that I make, whether it's on YouTube, selling parts, donations, like literally everything gets spent back on the cruise community because I take any money I make and I'm always R&Ding things. But even though I'm talking about a Miata, that Miata is sort of like, even though I build car parts for work, the Miata was kind of a fun thing, but, any money I make from the Miata, I'm going to take that money and put it right back into figuring out Miata stuff. So I kind of keep everything separate. Not that I do a lot of Miata stuff, but I just started dabbling in it now. Um, let's see. I'm trying to read you guys' questions. Mark. Nope. Oh, Big Brain. How's it going? Yo, turkeys. Let's see. Mark David. If you have any cool video ideas, let us know. We could bring our own gear and try to shoot some stuff. Yeah, I do have a lot. Oh, and I want to apologize. I was working on the most recent intercooler video, and when I make a video, there might be 3 or 4 different versions because what I'll do is I'll finish it, watch it. I might not like something, and I'll go back and make an edit or I'll change something. I did have a thank you in the video, and I totally uploaded the wrong one. So when I watched it, it was one of the ones. It was like a previous version that it just didn't have you in it, and I really apologize. But you did have a shout out from me. But just so everyone knows, I like him too. Let's see, Forex. What's good, Andrew? Jordan. Awesome. Can't wait to see what we do on Discord. So I'll open up Discord. If there's anything on here, I guess if you want, tag me in something and I'll see it. Uh, if you guys have any Discord stuff going on, if you have any questions or anything, you can text in there too. But it is better to text in on YouTube because for a while people do get to see live. Well, if they watch my live stream recorded, they do get to see some of the chat for like a month, and then that goes away, which is usually why I read questions. But if you have questions, it's fine here. It's fine in Discord, whatever you guys want. Let's see. Forex stayed about the same, about 20 psi stable. Well, that's good, but it's happening sooner, which is what you want. You want more power sooner. Yeah, that wastegate's a great upgrade. I would do like wastegate. I would do a wastegate and probably an intercooler, then a tune on most cruises, because between the two, like if you do the intercooler, you're getting rid of heat soak because it's very in an OEM car, heat soak is pretty much how the car drives all day. So when you put an aftermarket intercooler in, even on a factory car, it's just no heat soak, so you don't get any restrictions in power. And then the wastegate actuator, even on a factory tune, does increase boost, and it actually increases boost a little. You get boost sooner, which is nice, and it helps the turbo spool up. So between the two, you get much faster spooling. And then when you throw a tune on top of that, you get crazy power, which is great. Jordan, you should post live in the vendor chat on Discord so more people can see it. I will. I'll tell you what. I'll go into your general right now. I'm on Discord. Here, I just put a link to it. I'm not sure anyone's gonna. I don't know if anybody there really knows me that much. I mean, some people know me, but I'm not sure if the entire Discord is looking for something like that. Let's see. Mark. All right, so Jordan, I just posted in your general. There's links everywhere, just so everybody knows I'm doing it. Mark, it's all good, no hard feelings. Yeah, I have a lot of video ideas, and I'm learning. It's funny. I do obviously I have like 250 videos, and most of them are just me tinkering and figuring out problems. And the ones that I do with other people, I'm learning how to focus on what I'm doing and then also try to talk to everybody and make the video fun. That's been a struggle. I'm trying my hardest to do that, and I've actually filmed with a few people over the last I want to say 6 months, and I'm getting better at it. So if you guys ever want to come down and film some stuff, I mean, we can definitely do something. I don't know what. I mean, it could literally just be us doing dumb things. I don't care. I thought it would be really fun when I was young. I don't know if I should tell you guys this, but tray sliding. I don't even know if that's something anyone does anymore, but tray sliding was a lot of fun. It's when you take a front wheel drive car and you put fast food trays under the back wheels, and you lock up the parking brake, and then you just do donuts, and the back wheels just slide everywhere like they're on ice. We used to do dumb stuff like that when I was a kid. When I say kid, we're talking like 17. I thought it would be funny to do something like that now, but now that I'm older, I kind of wanted to like maybe go to the police station and ask if it's okay to do and find a place where I'm allowed to do it so I don't get in trouble just because, adult things. But yeah, stuff like that is stuff like that are things that I thought would be fun if I filmed it when I was younger, but something you guys probably would love to do. Again, safe place, safe location, and a controlled environment is what I always recommend. Let's see, where am I? So, Mark, Forex, do you suggest giving it another half turn? If you're at 20 psi, yeah, you can go another half turn, but I would also data log and verify with your tuner if the air fuel ratio command is safe for where you're at with the boost. Because, for example, if you have a car, let's say the car's tuned, and let's say you're tuned for 20 psi, but you go give the car 22 psi, there's a chance the car might be running lean because the fueling might be set for that 20 psi, and then you're at 22, which means more air, which means lean. So I don't know what you're set for. So, hey, what's up, UAV? Let's see. I'm in for the night. You're in for the night. So, UAV, what's up? If you want me to say your name, I'll say it, but I usually say screen names. So you had you have a Gen 1 and you had a bad water pump, so I know you were going through hell. How'd you make out with burping the air from the cooling system? I'm just curious. I didn't get a chance to look at my phone because I was setting up for the live stream tonight. Let's see. Jordan, honestly, an intercooler tune wastegate with an intake would be a really fun daily. Yeah, I mean that right there. If you have enough preload and the right tune, I mean you're talking like 170 to 190 horsepower, depending on like what dyno you're on and what type of tuning and how aggressive you're getting with your boost. I mean, the reason I give a range is those same modifications on a car with 15 psi is going to make different horsepower than a car with 30 psi with the same turbos. That's why I give a range. Let's see. Um, Jordan, the funny cabin air filter, the funny cabin air filter video was awesome. Yeah, um, I'm not much of an actor, but I kind of wanted to do a video that was sort of my style with tinkering, and then I can kind of be funny. When I'm not on camera and I'm just hanging out with my friends and I'm having fun, I definitely have a more funny side. I just on camera I worry because there's a lot of people out there that have triggers, and I worry about what I find funny might make someone else upset. So I watch it when I do stuff. That's why I stuck to like a cruise repair video, and I was trying to be funny because a lot of people have those same problems with like getting the hood open and stuff like that. And it's funny because I did it in a funny way, and I added like one extra step that didn't need to be there, and most people commented on like the extra steps because you know people like to be right, even though it didn't matter. I did it in a way that saved the car from being scratched up. Let's see. Hold on, I'm losing track of the questions. How's the tuning going with the shop? Well, I have a video coming out that is going to explain a lot of things. There was some drama this week, and basically what happened is, I'll say this: there was drama this week in some of the Facebook groups that turned into a long phone call between Jerry and I at Bad News Racing. And it was a very good phone call. I have a video coming out, and you guys are going to be well informed in that video. It's going to be I know I just put out a video today about Miatas. It's because I was excited and I figured out the intercooler system for a Miata. I love Miatas just as much as I love cruises. Well, now, I can't say that. I like cruises a lot more. Just my family loves the Miata because they think it's cool having a convertible, and my kids like being driven every once in a while separately in it, and then my wife likes going out in it. So there's an affinity for that car, and I was excited to figure out an intercooler, and I'm actually going to be figuring out my own turbo system for that car, which is practice for figuring out an aftermarket turbo for the Gen 2 Cruise. And when I say aftermarket, I mean literally taking like a 60 millimeter like T3 turbo, a universal Garrett, and making that work on the Gen 2 Cruise. It's sort of an idea that I had. I wanted to practice on the Miata because I have an aftermarket ECM on that car, and I can do tuning and stuff with it. And then when I figured it out, then I wanted to figure out how to do that on the Gen 2 Cruise, and then I can have Doug and Jerry kind of help me out with the tuning on it, which I thought would be fun. So that's not in the video. That's just the Miata thing. So it's got nothing to do with anything, And then once I get over to the Cruise, hopefully I have enough information from the Miata that I can make it work on the Cruise, and then I can replicate that for the Cruise. Again, it's a brain child. I don't know if this is going to happen. It's just something I'm going to play around with. I thought it would be a cool video series. But right now I want to hit the 400 horsepower mark with what we have. Let's see. UAV, what's up? Hey, by the way, you had said something in one of your comments that was blocked. You have to watch the. I don't care about language, but YouTube does. So just to give you a heads up, if you're gonna say something, just watch certain words, or it's gonna block you. Let's see. UAV, not good. UAV. If I take the bleed screw out and top off the tank, I get a steady stream of fluid, but I get overheat and loss of heat. Heavy heat. Do you have the air bleed screw? If it's basically like a giant Hey guys, can you see me now? Hold on. Hey guys, can you see me? I don't know if that's working. Hey, sorry. I don't know where I cut out. My camera's gonna die. We probably have another 15 minutes before you guys lose me completely, or I can possibly plug it in, but I don't have a cable long enough to keep it charged up. But Mike, I was in the middle of saying for your cruise, if your air bleed screw looks like a brake bleeder, you can actually stick a like a pump on there and actually pump and get the air out. I've done that on a couple cars. So if you have some kind of tool that can put suction on it, you can get the air out of the system that way, just like you would get air out of brakes. So I don't know if you let me know if tomorrow if you still have a problem, just shoot me a message and I'll help you out. Tommy, 2 times. Nice to see you here. Are there any fast cars in this chat? Well, I got a garage full of fast cars, so yeah, and there's a bunch of people in here that have fast cars. A lot of people in here that have fast cars. Oh, interesting comment. Let's see, Tommy. Yes, there is. Tommy, video or it's all lies? Oh, that's funny. What kind of car? My Cruise has almost 500 horsepower. Let's see. Supercharge a Cruise. Bo, how's it going? Yeah, I have I want to say I have an M90 and I have an M45 supercharger literally just sitting in the shop that I could try and figure out how to put on the Cruise, and I did have a thought because I was thinking about the Cobalt SS, the supercharged version, and part of me was like, oh, it'd be really cool to build like a Cruise SS with maybe a Cobalt supercharger. It's gonna take a lot of fabrication, but I don't care. I love stuff like that. I'd rather be tinkering and figuring it out. Let's see. Tommy, no, it does not. Farex. Jordan. Yeah, Tommy, the videos are on this channel on the dyno. Yes, they are. Tommy, does to oh Tommy, you have a fast car because you're tuned by BNR. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Jordan left my butt off. Let's see, Farex, bro, running 1-to-1 air fuel ratio. 1-to-1. Where are you getting your air fuel ratio readings? Is it through some sort of scanner with live data? If that's the case, it's probably showing you what it's commanding. It's not the real air fuel ratio. I have verified this with Summit because he did have he had some kind of OBD2 style and it was so not accurate, and then he switched over to the one I have in my car and it was completely accurate. What do you average miles per gallon on your Cruise? UAV. Touch base with me tomorrow. I'll show you how to bleed that thing. You can simply get a like a transfer pump for transferring fuel into something. You could literally use that to get all the air out of the system if it's airbound. Tommy, 6 miles per gallon. I'm not sure if you're being serious or not. Let's see. So I know my car gets about 19, which is way low for a Cruise. UAV, no, it's a Phillips head. If it's a Phillips head bleed, I have an idea. We could probably steal the line off the overflow tank and use that. You might lose a little fluid in the tank, but you'll be able to get the air out of the engine. That's one way of doing it. So text me tomorrow. I'll take a look at my Gen 1 and I'll figure it out. Tommy, thank you very much. Let's see. You have to machine an adapter plate. Okay, done trolling. Tommy, trolling's fine. But I do. Trolling is funny, but at the same time, when I'm doing this, I'm a little more serious, so I'm just going to read what everyone's asking. And if you're a friend of mine, I don't know your screen name. You might be somebody else, maybe, busted my, what. I can't say it because YouTube doesn't like it. Let's see. By the way, you're allowed to joke. It's okay. I just worry about somebody else reading it and then not realizing you're joking. Let's see, Farex, I'm joking about, oh, yeah, okay. I can't read that, guys. Sorry. I can't read that out loud. So let's see. What am I looking forward to this week? I don't know. It sounds like something. When I was having Thanksgiving dinner, I was talking to my kids, and I was asking them what they're thankful for, or at least what do they love about each other, and my one son, my youngest, told my oldest that he loves playing video games with my oldest, and then my oldest is like, I can't think of anything I like doing with my youngest. I put him in timeout because I was so mad at him, and then he came back and said he loved spending time with him playing video games too. That was sort of a gimme answer. That kind of reminds me of this. Uh, let's see. What am I looking forward to this week? Nah, big brain. It's okay. Um, I'm okay with that because I knew he was joking. I just worry about other people not realizing it. I'm just checking to see, making sure we're good on battery life. So, what does everybody think about me doing these late night live streams, especially after a holiday? I was, like I said, doing it right after a holiday. I figured would be 50-50. Either everyone was busy or I might get a lot of people because everyone's free. Um, so, I guess I'll just talk. I don't know. I had no purpose, so I guess maybe I'll just talk about some future stuff. I'm going to be working on what's the next thing I want to do. So I have that black cruise. It's my Gen 1. It's nicknamed Black Widow. It's kind of just sitting right now because I've been so busy. I have a lot of work I've been trying to get finished because, I just always have a very heavy workload, and I'm a one-man operation, so if I don't do the work, it doesn't get done. Like yesterday, the day before Thanksgiving, I was coding 12 calipers, and that was a lot of work. And one set of calipers is a 6-piston setup with this crazy metallic gold color that was driving me nuts, but it came out awesome. Uh, but so that's kind of what I'm always working on. If I'm not doing that, I'm building intercoolers. If I'm not doing intercoolers, I'm editing and filming. And then when I'm not doing that, I'd love to be tinkering in the garage on I have my Corvette sitting in the garage, but it just sits all the time because I'm always working. So, but even when I'm not working, I'm working. But lately, I've just been doing like 7 days a week, 7 days a week work, and then I'm on and off. I've been going physical therapy. Then I had surgery, so it's just been really hectic. And my next cruise video is going to have a lot of information in it. I forgot to talk about the surgery, but the video is going to have a lot of information in it for everyone. Let's see, Malibu, UAV, Malibu 2.0 and suspension and brakes. Yeah, the Malibu is going to go on the lift, and I'm going to be getting. I have the kit ready, the brake kit ready, and I have the intercooler system ready, and I wanted to get that on the lift, but I was trying to figure out what was going on with your cruise first. We're kind of fixed on the cruise, and we just need to figure out how to get the air out of the system. Once you do that, I won't have to worry as much. But trust me, I was stressing. I was busting my butt getting the Miata off my lift so I can get that car in. Yeah, by the way, Tommy, you're welcome to comment. I don't want you to not comment. I like it when you guys comment. It gives me something to talk about, too. Jordan, you should Cobalt SS swap a first gen. I could do that. They are, the chassis look pretty similar. I don't know how close they are. I know the Cobalt was the first year of the electric power steering, but I think it was, the power steering was basically in the cabin, and the actuator was built into like the steering column, where our cars it's the whole steering shaft. Let's see, Joel, do you have a 2.0 male boost? Hold on, Jordan. What do you have for coilovers on the Cruise? My Cruise is BC Racing for the Gen 2. And then I have Rev 9 waiting to go in on the Gen 1, which I bought used, and the guy who sent me everything sent me a broken front coilover, so I have to replace one of them. Let's see. Dave, do you have a 2.0 male boost? I have no idea what that means. Oh, Malibu. Sorry. I have UAV's Malibu on my property. I'm prototyping a Malibu intercooler system for that car because I have a customer who wanted a Malibu intercooler, and he gave me a deposit to. Actually, he paid me in full and just said, go ahead and build it. So I'm building that, and I'm prototyping it on UAV's car, and that way in the future when he wants to do mods to his Malibu, I have everything I need ready to go. So yeah, there is a Malibu ready to go that I'm working on, but it's not mine. Ray, Ray, 2004 Saturn Ion came with the electrical steering system. Oh, the Ion, what was that? Is the Ion the Saturn version of the Cobalt, or is that weird SUV? I don't know what that is actually. Ken S, what's going on? How are you? Or Ken SSS? Ken SS, sorry. Which LS is in my vet? I have a 6 liter. I don't know the cubic inches. What is it, like a 346 or something like that? But it's the 6.0 liter LS engines, the vet engine, and then it has a Eaton supercharger literally on top in place where the intake manifold used to be. I think that car's making, it's like 675 crank horsepower. It's like 575 at the wheels or something like that. Why do I need a name? Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to just live stream, especially for you. You actually pretty much everybody here, or a lot of people who comment on my videos, and I want to say hi to everybody. So that's why I do these live streams, just so I can hang out, and I really appreciate that. Why do I need a name? And by the way, you have the best name in my membership. I love that name. Joel, I just shared your video in the group. Maybe more people will join in. That's cool. I appreciate that. Brandon, how's it going? Let's see, Redline 364. The Redline, is that the Ion, the Saturn? The Redline, I remember that. Oh, yeah, it's an SUV, right? The Redline? And then 364 is the 6.0. I think you're right. Yeah. 366. No, I think it's the 364. I could be wrong. One of the things I don't do is I never bring up Google while I'm doing these live streams. I try to do everything out of memory because in hopes that it makes my memory stronger, but who knows. Ray, yes, the Cobalt adapted most of the Saturn parts to build a Cobalt for GM in '05. Yeah, that generation of cars was when I was basically in high school. So that was like that. They got rid of the Cavalier and started building these really cool, like supercharged 6 cylinders and turbo 4 cylinders and supercharged 4 cylinders, and then, supercharged 4 cylinders, and then that was when GM was really putting out some really cool products, and then they they stopped doing it because Eaton stopped giving them the right to use the Eaton supercharger. So guys, listen, my camera's gonna die. If you give me a minute, I can find a charger, but my microphone's gonna be worse. So let's roll with that for a minute because the camera's literally gonna die. Give me a sec. Alright, I have a really long charging cable. It should be able to reach the charger down here. If it does, you're going to lose the microphone, but I'll be able to talk a little longer. If I don't do this, you'll hear me on the microphone, but we'll have a full... you'll hear me on the microphone, but then the camera's going to die, and we can't do this. Alright, I think we're good. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'll move this a little closer. Sorry that's loud. Alright, yeah, so I froze because when I noticed that I freeze on the screen, it's because my camera is letting me know that it's dying. So now my microphone is going to be much quieter, but at least we have a full charge, so you guys won't get me freezing anymore. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm gonna play catch up. Give me a second, guys. Where were we? Typical GM. Yeah, you know what, Ray? General Motors likes to put out some really cool cars and then stop making them. I don't know why they do that. They always put out something that enthusiasts like, and then they decide, you know what? We don't need these anymore and get rid of it. I don't know why. They do it with a lot of cars. Most notably, I think one of the biggest ones they did was the Chevy SS. That was an amazing car. Part of the reason was Holden was shut down. So, but they did it with the G8. Another reason Holden was shut down. They did it with the Impala SS from the 90s. They did it with they stopped making the ZR1 for I think it was almost 15 years. They stopped making the ZR1 Corvette, which was an amazing car. The Cyclone, the Trailblazer SS. I mean, they make some really cool vehicles, and they're like, nah, we know everybody likes it. We're just gonna get rid of it now.
I don't know why they do that. Let's see. Ray seen my post. Oh, cool. Why do I need a name? I'm good, just chilling. Hope you're doing good. Stop spraying for winter and pulled the plug and put my stock pump back in and running good. Stock pump. I had to think about that. Well, I'm sorry. Refresh my memory about the pump. I may not be remembering it just right now, but I might remember later what we're talking about. Let's see. That one car. I like that. Sup, Dave? Did you find a nice TV? I did, and it ended up being too big, so I actually am returning it and getting a smaller one. The TV. I didn't. You know what I didn't think about? So there's a lot of really good deals on TVs right now. So I have a certain size TV in my living room, and it's good. It's great. It's flat panel. That TV I paid like, geez, I got it on Black Friday. I want to say a year ago, and it was like $300, and it was a 65-inch TV. It was great, $300, 350 bucks, something like that. It was such a good deal. I bought it. I didn't even care what the brand was. So then I kind of wanted a slightly bigger TV because my family and I like to play like four-person video games. So I wanted a slightly bigger TV, so just make everything a little bigger. And I ended up getting one that was really big. And what I didn't think about was with the lights off, the TV is so big that it's like having headlights on a car even on its lowest setting. Like I didn't realize having so much more TV was gonna be so bright. So I'm taking that one back and I'm getting a slightly smaller TV. But there's really good deals on 70-inch TVs. I found one for like 400. I think it was like 440 bucks. I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's so cheap because a 75-inch TV when flat panel TVs first came out was like a $5,000 TV. So it's crazy to even say that you can find a 75-inch TV nowadays for like $600, and then I found a 70-inch TV for like 440 something. Great price. Let's see. Ray, Brandon, hold on. Brandon, they missed the mark with the Camaro. Totally dropped the ball. Yeah. So the Camaro was really cool in the Transformers movie. The Camaro prototype was really cool in the first movie because Bumblebee was a different version of the Camaro they sold. It had different mirrors, different cabin space, and it was kind of on the GTO chassis, which was weird because the GTO has a tiny trunk and a huge cabin. So I have an '05 GTO, and I could fit four adults in that car, no problem. The Camaro, I ended up buying one of those, I want to say when I was 27, maybe 28 years old, and I had my first son. No, it had to be 30. So when I had my first son, we tried to put a car seat in the back, and the car had zero space. But in a GTO, it fits perfect, even with a car seat. So they made the trunk on that car so massive that all they had to do was move the back seats back, give everybody more cabin space, and just make the windows a little bigger, and it would have been a much better car. I felt like I was driving. I've heard the Camaro basically be described as like driving like this with a hoodie. You have no visibility whatsoever, and you feel like you're really inside something, which is kind of funny for an analogy. Ever since I heard that, I can't stop thinking about it when I see a Camaro. Uh, so anyway, let's see. Ray, yes, the SS was a blessing, yet people didn't buy them because they said it was expensive. Yeah, you know what? It was expensive compared to an Impala, right? But what are you getting for the money? You're getting a completely loaded car. You're getting leather. You're getting Alcantara. You're getting suede. You're getting custom stitching. You're getting a flat bottom steering wheel. The car parks itself. Huge 8-inch navigation touchscreen. You're getting a sunroof. You're getting a beautiful styling, custom colors. I mean, for the money, you're getting every option General Motors puts out, including an LS3, a paddle shifted 6-speed automatic, or a manual 6-speed, and you can get, I believe it was a independent rear with 360 something gears and magnetic ride. It was expensive if you don't know anything about the car and you're looking at like an Impala, but if you really look at what you're getting a lot of things the Corvette had for less Corvette. You're getting a lot of things the Corvette had with enough room to put your whole family in the car and the sound of a Corvette. I mean, you couldn't beat it for what it was. The other problem was, like, the SS was a NASCAR for like 5 years, Not one time did I see an ad for the Chevy SS when I was watching NASCAR. Go figure. Let's see. The that one car, TV deals. Oh, yep, we already saw that. Let's see. Why do I need a name? Stock windshield washer pump and running 50/50 so I can spray the windshield in the winter. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize what you were saying. That makes sense. Um, I didn't realize that was probably a meth injection conversation. Yeah. You probably don't need meth injection when it's 20 degrees outside, but it does still add power. It's just at the same time it's so cold out that you won't get any loss of power. That's the nice thing about a turbo car with an aftermarket intercooler. Let's see, big brain. Old school 6 liter is a 366. Yeah, and that sounds like a Pontiac engine actually. And then the LS is rounded up from a 6.0 to a 5967 cc's. Oh, that's funny. So it's a five. So technically it's a 5.9 liter. No, it's a 5.9.6 liter is what you're saying. 5.9 points. They did the same thing with the 5 liters from the 80s. The Mustang 5.0 was actually a 4.9 289. So they just call it the 5.0, which is funny. And it's funny. Here's a better one for you. The 80s Ford 5 liter, basically a bunch of designs were used to make the LS 350 that General Motors uses, and then now the big block Ford 427 uses all of the LS designs, which are a mix of the Ford 5.0 designs. Try to wrap your head around that stuff. Let's see. Why do I need a name? Speaking of TV deals, I've been holding off on a 4K HDR, and that's gotten so cheap now. Yeah, you're right. And then you know what? The more you hold out, the better it's going to be, because a lot of places are trying to go like 3D and VR. So you're going to be able to get a flat panel TV for peanuts, because they're going to try and convince you to start using VR goggles for everything. And they're making a mistake, because VR goggles, I mean, every experience I've ever had with VR is something that I can only do for maybe 20 minutes. If I'm watching a TV show with 3D VR goggles on, I'm watching that TV show for 20 minutes. I'm turning that off, and then I'm going to turn my TV on. So just wait. I'm sure it'll get even cheaper. That one car, the Camaro was a huge blind spot. Yes, it was. And yes, it is pretty much blind spot everywhere. I couldn't stand it. It was really cool inside. Like, it had a nice interior, but man, it was difficult to drive. And it's really wide. It's really tall. You feel like you're driving a low Silverado with no visibility. It's crazy. And what's funny is the windshield and the back window in that car are really big, but they're tilted in a way that it's a lot of glass, but the visibility is still only like this. And it's funny, I remember when I had my 2010 Camaro, like, the windshield is like 6 feet long, the visors were this big. You'd flip down the visor, and if you flip down the visor on the Camaro, it was this big. Like, it didn't block anything. I guess there was some law for General Motors that it had to be a certain distance away from the seat or something. I don't know. But it didn't block anything. A great upgrade for the Camaro would be aftermarket visors. And trust me, I shopped for some, and I actually started making some for the car, and then I realized that was bad to own, because I could barely fit my family in it. It was a dumb car. I actually got rid of it, and I bought a Cruise, ironically. No. Yeah, I think I bought a Cruise. That's what I got rid of it for. So my first Cruise was back when I was, I want to say around 30 years old or so. It was my very first one. It was an automatic turbo, fully loaded with the MyLink, not leather, so it wasn't fully loaded. No, it had a sunroof, and I figured out paddle shifters on that car back then. So, which is cool, because I figured it out. I was one of the first people, at least I want to say 8-9 years ago. I figured out paddle shifters back then. I was one of the first few people to do that. And then now I figured it out again, and I started offering it to people who want to have paddle shifters, because I just remembered how to do it. Let's see. That one car. Nope, Joel. That's funny. Wait, that's funny. All those 80s mixed 99s V8s barely have more horsepower than today's boosted 4-cylinders. Yes, that is true. However, I will say this. In my last dyno video, I was comparing the power that cruise missile makes to my first V8 powered build that I ever did. It was a 95 Camaro with an LT1 that I put a lot of engine work into. They made the same power. In fact, the Cruise made more horsepower to the wheels. The difference is the V8 made power like 3,000 RPM sooner. Like, so the Cruise has a linear torque band. So about, I want to say 3 to 4,000 RPM, that's when it starts rising. And then by 5,000 RPM, yeah, you're up in the, you're up in the mid threes for torque. On a V8, you're getting 300 foot-pounds of torque at like 2,000 RPMs, and it's pretty much staying there all the way out to 5,000 RPM. So, same power, you're just getting more of it with a V8. There is a big difference between the two, but yes. However, if you go older, right, 80s, yeah, a stock Cruise makes more power than a stock Camaro from like 1989, 100%. Let's see. But the difference is too, I think maybe an 80s Camaro, what do they weigh? I wonder if an 80s Camaro is light. I know a modern Cruise is like 3,100 pounds, which is crazy because so is a Corvette and it's a bigger car. But an 80s Camaro, there's like nothing in them. They're like thin metal. I don't know what they weigh. I know they're all metal. I wonder if they're in the twos. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're still in the threes. I know my Miata is about 2,200 pounds. And my Cobra weighs, I always say it's about 2,000, but it's really like 17 something. It's very light and very small, but these are tiny cars. So I would say the Camaro might be a 2,800 pound car, but they don't rev like a modern four cylinder. I know, you got me thinking. I'm sorry. I'm just lost in thought right now. Let's see. Brandon, what do you think as a GTO owner such as myself, having a cheap Chinese Tech 2? I think it's probably a great idea because General Motors doesn't even offer the Tech 2 to anyone anymore, and the cheap one actually has more options. You just have to make sure that you get, there's a lot of different cables, and the GTO is very finicky. Like, I've used the Tech 2 on the GTO, and it was able to do some things, but other things it couldn't, like communicate with the cluster. But if you go to my website, there are GTO specific things on my website, and one of them is a communication cable, so you can reprogram your own cluster. Because my car's had an ABS light an airbag light for years, and the only thing that was able to communicate with it was the VZ mod. So just bear in mind, some things work, some things don't. Let's see. Why do I need a name? Most GM cars I like double limo sun strip. Wait, what? Wait, most GM cars I like a double limo sun strip. I'm not sure if that was a tint comment. I'm sorry if I don't understand. Let's see. Big Brain. Yep, 1981 had like 180 crank. Yeah, and you know what? I would imagine if you dynoed that, it was a really lazy torque curve, because I remember those cars. I had a couple 80s Camaros, and I remember when that horsepower kicked in, I mean, it would go, but it was very lazy. So it might have had 180, but it might have only made 180 horsepower at like 6,000 RPMs if it could even hit that. You know what the problem was? The engines didn't have good air and fuel delivery. So if these engines were designed now, if they designed a 305 now, it would be a 400 or 500 horsepower engine, because the fuel and air delivery, if they change nothing but give it better air and fuel delivery and maybe a better cam design, you can get a lot of power out of that same engine. Just back then, it was very lazy. It had just enough carburation and fuel injection just to get the engine running, but not enough to give it power. I guess that was all emission stuff. Richard, what's going on? How are you? How's your cylinder head project going for the Cruise? It's... So right now, I figured out how to get more power out of the car without having to touch the engine internally. So right now, I'm exploring doing that. This the flex fuel kit that I came out with for the Cruise is going to be a big part of that. I'm going to be running T85, not to bring up an E85 debate, but let's say you have a car that makes 300 horsepower and you go switch over to E85, and this is just an example, it's not a specific car. The car is 300 horsepower, You switch over to E85, you're able to make 350 horsepower, right? You get 50 additional horsepower. That same tune for the E85, if you switch to T85, might bring you an additional 20 horsepower over that. So you might gain 50 to 70 horsepower with T85. So I can order T85 off the internet because I don't have any E85 or T85 near my house. So I may just order T85 anyway, and then when I go get dynoing done, I'm going to use that so I can see what kind of power we make. Or I might do a comparison of E and T. I don't know. It depends on what I can do. You know, a lot of these video series are very expensive. I don't have any sponsors, and YouTube doesn't pay a lot on ad revenue, so a lot of times video wise, they cost me more than they actually make. So for me to do like an E85 dyno video, it's probably with buying fuel like an $800 video series, and I have to hopefully get one or two videos out of it. And these are real numbers. I mean, between so if you really put it on paper, right? It's the flex fuel kit, it's the flex fuel kit, dyno time. If the tune costs money, if you know if well, I don't want to talk about tunes anyway because that's sort of a touchy subject in the cruise world. And then the fuel itself, like the fuel itself, just to get 5 gallons of T85 or maybe like T89, T98 is like $300 by itself. You know, just for me to do some dyno runs. You know, so I you know that hopefully I can find it somewhere. Maybe if it's not local, even if it's an hour away, maybe I could bring some gas cans with me. I don't know. I'll figure something out. You know, maybe to try and save some money. Let's see. Joel, Big Brain. Oh, let's see. Cruise is actually heavier than I realized. What's the weight? 3,200 pounds? Oh, wow. The Camaro's heavier than I thought. The Camaro's 3,200 pounds. You know what's crazy? In theory, you can put a modern LS engine in an old 80s Camaro and in a straight line. It might actually, it's probably going to be faster than a lot of cars on the road. It just probably won't handle as well. I mean, there's a reason my Chevy SS is 40, I think it's like 4,200 pounds. In order to get a car that heavy and that big to go around a turn like a Corvette is you need a pretty heavy duty stout suspension. So the magnetic ride on that car with all of the suspension parts probably is like 600 pounds by itself. You know, that adds to the weight. Do I want the car to be lighter? Yeah, but at the same time, to get 4,000 pounds to pull a G and a half around a turn, it takes some pretty stout parts to do it, that's for sure. Let's see, Brandon, thanks. Big Brain. My Cruise weighed 3,180 with me in it. And a full tank of gas. Oh, wow, so the Cruise is sub 3,000 pounds. That's cool. So I was going by, I guess, what I've seen on Google for like General Motors numbers. So I never actually weighed the car myself, but you actually do drag racing, so you have a scale at your disposal. So hope, you know, the scale's probably accurate, but it could be off by 100 pounds, 200 pounds, I don't know. But for argument's sake, let's just call the Cruise 3,000 pounds, which is still pretty light because my Corvette is a fiberglass car with an aluminum chassis, and that's still 3,100 pounds. And, you know, the Cruise is, I think the Cruise is longer, but not as wide, but it's all made of metal, so that's pretty light for a full metal car. Why do I need a name? The limo sun strip helps. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about what I was talking about with the Camaro, the visors. So limo sun strip. You're talking about a dark strip at the top of the window. Yes, my apologies. I knew it was a window tint thing. Didn't understand why. My apologies. Yeah, you're right. That probably would have been a good idea. But you know the problem with the Camaro is, right? So, so the Camaro's window is like 6 feet long, right? But the view space is like only a foot and a half. It's like that. So you go throw a window strip on there, now you decrease the view space to that. So you're taking it to like less than a foot. You like I remember when I was like waiting for lights to turn green, I was like looking past the top of the roof of the car because I physically couldn't see anything. You know, the view was awful. Where in the Cruise, like the windshield kind of comes up and it's huge and has like a 4 foot view and you can usually see lights and stuff. I don't know. They made a mistake with the Camaro. It looked really cool in the Transformers movie, but it just sucked to own. And I'm not hating on Camaros. I love Camaros. In my life, I've owned, I don't know, probably 15 Camaros. I owned a 70s Camaro, which technically wasn't mine, but it was. I should kind of My friend gave it to me, and I never really picked it up, but I worked on it all the time. I owned 3 or 4 '80s Camaros. I owned a fourth gen Camaro. I actually owned 2 or 3 fourth gen Camaros. I mean, this was a time where when I was growing up, you could pick up a Camaro for $500. So it sounds like a lot of money, but Camaros weren't expensive back then. When I was a teenager, I could pick up 10 Camaros for what a Camaro now costs easily back then. Nowadays, even an '89 Camaro when I was in high school, I could pick up for $500. An '89 Camaro now is probably a $5,000 to $10,000 car, and if it's low mileage, a low mileage '89 Camaro is probably a $25,000 car. It's crazy what they're going for now. Which ironically, same thing's happening with the Mustangs, but I got lucky. I didn't film any footage on this yet, but I have an '83 Mustang just waiting to be built, and I have a modern drivetrain waiting to go in it. And I was able to get that car for $1,200, which is dirt cheap, and it's convertible. But if that car had an engine and if that car was drivable and had nothing wrong with it, it would have been a $5,000 car, even with a crappy paint job. It's nuts now. I was so happy to find a Mustang for $1,200. I bought it. I just jumped on it. Let's see. Lackluster sun visors. Yeah, no, there's not a delay in commenting. There's a delay. I'm sorry. There's a delay in me reading. It's hard. I give every comment respect. So I'm gonna answer comments, finish my answer, then read the next comment. So if there is a delay from what you're saying, just wait for me to. Hopefully I can get to it fast enough for you. But you had said the lackluster sun visors. So lackluster. Oh, so I guess those are aftermarket sun visors. Obviously, they're called lackluster. Oh, no, 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 I'm sorry. I'm reading it now. The limo sun strip helps with lackluster sun visors. Yes, you are 100% correct. My apologies. Big Brain, 2017 Hatch Auto. Oh, is that the weight you were reading? Oh, you have a hatch? Oh, yeah, you do have a hatch. You have the white one. I don't know why I thought your car had the trunk. Yes, it is a hatch. UAV, best screen ever is the OLED 4K HDR. I don't know. I don't know if it's the old man in me saying this, but some of these TVs have too intense of a resolution. So, yes, they look really clear, and yeah, they're giving you a real life feel, and it makes video games look good. But your eyes are adjusting so much that it actually hurts my eyes. I kind of like something a tiny bit more dumbed down that's not as intense. So I don't mind a larger TV, but like these resolutions, I think some of it's actually going to start causing like eye problems with people. And again, it could just be the old man in me saying that, but I play a lot of video games, and it's amazing when the TVs are such high resolution, and you're trying to focus on all the things happening in the video game. It strains your eyes, and I might be wrong, but let's see, 86-inch TV. That is a gigantic TV. When you're looking at an 86, yeah, 86-inch TV. When you're looking at an 86-inch TV, you're not looking at the TV. It's actually like watching stuff go past you. That is a gigantic TV. It's like watching real life. I couldn't even imagine a TV like that. Let's see. Why do I need a name? I get 30 gallons for 140 USD, but it's delivered in a drum from a racing company. Wow. Really? If you don't mind, you don't have to share it here, but could you send me an email and let me know where, because I definitely need it. I'm struggling here to be able to find it, and I want to be able to deliver this video series to you guys because I'm really curious to see what the big turbo, the intercooler, the wastegate modifications, the throttle modifications, E85, T85, and methanol injection can do on this platform. I really want the Cruise platform to go from a car that people make fun of you for owning to people going, oh, that car means business. So if you go to a racetrack with a Chevy Cruze, anybody's going to get laughed at, right? I want people to see a Cruze and go, yeah, that's probably not something you mess with. Because I'm sure if somebody sees a WRX with a loud exhaust and that makes turbo noises, they pretty much feel like, yeah, it's probably got some work done. When you see a Cruze, a lot of people just see a grocery getter. Not me. I see a pretty sexy four-door that has some great styling and with some money can be an amazing sports car, even if it's a four-door. I don't care. Four-door, two-door, doesn't matter. If it can go around a turn and make a turn like a sports car, and it can put you in your seat like a sports car, to me it's a sports car, even if it's home built. Let's see, Dave, check ATCO, Cecil County, or Maryland International. Yeah, the problem was, well, the Maryland one's too far away, Cecil County's too far away, and ATCO closed, unfortunately. I think Cecil might have closed too. I know Maryland is there. We do have New Jersey Motorsports Park. I'm not sure if they sell it. I also haven't asked Doug. About maybe if he has a shop. Hey, Wyatt, what's going on? I was talking to you earlier. I was talking about you earlier about the Miata. So he's a Miata guy. He's the one that actually bought the supercharger. I didn't realize you were here. Sorry about that. If you want bad sun visors, the Miata, yes. In fact, the visors are so bad in the Miata, a lot of people take them out. You're right. I forgot about that. Let's see, Wyatt. For TVs, there's a chart I just saw today online. It shows you how much resolution your eyes can process. Oh, I probably could have used that. So I realize my living room isn't the biggest. So putting a 75-inch TV, even though they're cheap, it's still a big TV, right? And you're like, wow, 75-inch TV, you can get it for $600. You go put that in your room. It's so close. It's like sitting in the front row of a movie theater. So I realized that probably a 65 to a 70-inch might be the limit. I feel like anything bigger, it just hurts your eyes. How's it going, Wyatt? What are you up to tonight? Ken, let's see. Hard to believe the SS and the Camaro share the same platform. So, Ken, they do share the same platform, but by the time they started making the Camaro, no, by the time the Camaro came out first in America, then the Chevy SS came out. They perfected a lot of stuff on that chassis that the SS benefited from. Excuse me, guys. That the later model Camaro, like the 6th gen, is a much better car handling and driving wise, but they just didn't change the cabin, so it was still like driving around with a hoodie. You know, there's no, they didn't fix any of the, the visibility problems. They didn't fix any of the space problems. They gave it cool upgrades and it looked more edgy. And then by the end, like the very last Camaro they came out with was the ugliest car I've ever seen. I don't know what it is with some of the styling they're doing. Like their new Silverado and the 2023 Cruise, the one they have overseas, or I think it might be in South America. Ugh, I think they're making them look bad for a reason. They're trying to get you away from that model and into something else. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to go after like loyal, brand loyal people who love Chevy, who just don't want that car and they want to push sales. I don't know. They were awful. There's a reason the sales dropped. Let's see. Why do I need a name? Wait, here we go. Speaking of the Cruise, wait. Oh, that's in Canada near Toronto for E85. Oh, that's why. Okay. But speaking of the Cruise, keeping up with a Gen 8 Honda SI with a bunch of mods and carbon was slam gears. He couldn't get away from me. I bet he felt bad about his build not smashing me. Yeah, I hope he felt bad. So the Gen 8 Honda, is that the previous model SI or the new model? I don't remember. The Honda has, the Civic has been around for like 80 years or something like that, I think. I don't remember how many generations there are. Let's see, why? Yeah, I took my visors button and visors out and wired in LEDs for super cheap off Amazon. Yeah, the lights in my cabin suck too. You know what the lights in the cabin are like? It's like one of those like keychain flashlights. Like that's all you have for lighting. When I go in the car at night, I can't see anything. That's a cool idea. I never really thought about putting extra lights where the visors used to be. I like that. Big brain. 4K TVs are 8.3 megapixels. The human eye can see up to 576 megapixels. Yeah, it can. But the difference is where in your life, like for example, if you're watching a video game, playing a video game, right? You can see up to 576 megapixels. The problem with a video game is it's all happening at once and it's really bright and there's different stuff happening and it's really putting a strain on your eyes. Versus like, let's say you're at a baseball game. There's a lot of stuff happening, but it's not all being directed right into your eyes. There's just a lot of things happening and you can focus on whatever you want. In a video game, you have to focus on the whole TV. There's a lot that strains your eyes. That's the problem. Let's see why. I'll send you a link to him. Thanks, I appreciate that. Guys, I'm caught up on messages finally. So if you guys have anything to ask it now because I'm starting to lose my voice because I got some medical issues going on. Let's see. Thanks, Wyatt. Big brain emotion makes it difficult. Yeah, exactly. It's the video gaming. And some TV shows, like if my kids are watching cartoons, a TV show and a movie are doing certain things, where like cartoons are just constantly stuff happening. It's like a video game. I worry about my kids watching all that stuff. Why do I need a name? For car lighting, I did LED replacement bulbs and it helped a lot, but it's blinding at night, so it gave me a headache. Yeah, so why do I need a name? My GTO, I have the brightest HID headlights in that car. They are so bright that at night, the reflections of everything actually hurt my eyes. It's like the light's not in my eyes, but seeing street lights that are reflective and like chrome on cars, it hurts because my eyes are trying to focus on the road, but then my gaze is going to all the bright stuff everywhere, and it's like having a flashlight in my eyes. You can see that resolution, but it's got to be straining your eyeballs to the point where if your eyes hurt, that has to mean your eyes are injured. I'm not an eye doctor, but if you walk away from something and you're constantly rubbing your eyes, that's your eyes having pain. It has to be, right? I would assume, just thinking logically. Let's see, UAV. Just have to watch out for sale on TV as they're selling old tech. Yeah, that's the thing. So my last TV is like the last TV I purchased was like 4 or 5 years ago. So even though this is old tech, technology moves pretty fast. So for me, getting something older could only be a year or two ago, which is fine because I tend to gravitate towards older stuff anyway. So for me, it's okay, but for anybody else, you might want to watch it too because let's say you're into like high definition gaming and you buy like a 60-inch TV, you might want something with a high refresh rate with a I think it's what is it QLED or QOLED resolution. Let's see, Wyatt. What video games are you playing? I'm into a bunch of different things. So right now I'm playing. I like the Batman Arkham series, so I've been playing Arkham Knight a lot. I've been playing Call of Duty. Which one is it? Call of Duty, not Modern Warfare, the one that came out before that. It was like a remake of the. It was like it's set in the '60s. I can't remember the name right now. I like the Avengers game. Then sometimes I'll play older stuff like I like Tomb Raider. I like playing Halo. I play like Mario Kart. I mean I play a lot of stuff. I play some computer gaming. I mean there's a lot. I always play something different, but if I'm just bored and have nothing to do, I'll always throw on Batman just because it's a really good game. Or I'll play like Spider-Man for PS5, the Avengers game for PS5. I like God of War. I think it's God of War. Yeah, God of War, Devil May Cry. I like a lot of story-based games because I like being immersed in a story. But competitive games, I love Call of Duty. I love Halo. I try to get into like Halo Warzone and what is that other game? My kids tried getting me into Fortnite. Fortnite's okay. I like Fortnite. At the same time, I'm not good at the building part of it. It's just not something I played enough to get good at. Uh, because I'm a Call of Duty guy. I've been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 1. I think that was like a PS2 game, maybe PS3, way back when. That's at least 12, 15 years ago. I played pretty much almost every one. Oh, PUBG. My brother plays PUBG. So PUBG basically is like Fortnite, but Call of Duty style gameplay. That's kind of what that feels like to me. Uh, it, yeah, right. That's kind of what it's like now that I think about it. Let's see, UAV. NJ Motorsports Park is like a minute for me. Cool. Yeah, I called them a while back when I started my YouTube channel to see if I could shoot some stuff down there, and they weren't interested, so I never really had a chance to go. But a friend of mine does a lot of racing. Well, Doug, you guys know who Doug is. He was in the one video, so he does a lot of racing there, and maybe one day I'll go down there with him and I'll be able to film. I was thinking of bringing the crew because he was doing a thing where he was you can play to do track time, and there was like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Corvettes, you name it, Z06s, they were there, Porsches, and then I was thinking of bringing either my Corvette or the Cruise. I never finished the Corvette, and I wanted to bring the Cruise because I thought it would be funny to have my Cruise hang with a couple cars, and then I had more leg surgery, and I couldn't drive for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks. A lot of surgeries lately. Let's see, Wyatt, PUBG. So, all right, guys. I think I've been doing this for about I don't know, hour and a half maybe. I'll know when I'm done. I think I'm gonna call it an end. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate people who donated tonight. You know, again, it does go a long way because every donation I receive gets spent back on the channel. You know, and I do appreciate it. So I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm a little tired, and I think probably it's now is a good time to end this. But if you guys have any last questions, ask them now before I go. I try to give everybody respect any way I can. So if I don't see anything pop up in like the next minute, I'm gonna say goodbye. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I appreciate you coming on tonight. Again, I didn't know if I was gonna be doing this, but I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, I didn't know if anybody was gonna come on, and I wasn't sure if this was a good idea. But you know what, though, the turnout tonight is great. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. And you know, let me send me a link for the donate. Oh, at the bottom of your chat, there's a little dollar sign. That's where the donating is. And if you ever want to be, if you, yeah, I appreciate it. If you want to donate, feel free. I appreciate that. And if you ever want to join the channel, there is a membership section. You guys actually get control over the videos I make, and I have for those. Oh, you know what, guys? For those of you that are in my membership, there is a membership. I'm sorry, there is a website only for members. So if you go to my channel, like if you click on my channel icon on whatever you're on, whether it's a website, whether it's a YouTube website or on your phone, and you go to the community tab where I like post things and you're a member, there is a website. I don't want to give the website out publicly because people who are non-members will be able to go to it. But members, you guys have your own website. I'm updating it constantly. So there's a lot of stuff in there, including like builds. I'm starting to show how I budget for builds, how much certain things cost. I'm gonna be putting in there bundles for people. So if you have a Miata, you have a Cruise, you have a G8, you know, there's gonna be like member pricing in the member website, so you guys can have like member only prices to work with. There's gonna be bundles like for the Cruise if you want to get like a turbo. You want to get like a turbocharger, a tune, like an E85 flex fuel kit. Like there's going to be levels. So if you want to get it all in one shot, it'll be one flat price, member pricing, and you know that it'll be in that site for you. There's future stuff like things I'm developing that no one else can see is in there. There's a lot of cool things. So keep an eye on the community tab. As long as you keep an eye on that tab, you'll see the address to the site. If you're part of the membership or you want to be part of the membership, below the video it says join. That's only for people who have an Android or basically anything but iPhone. If you're on iPhone, you have to actually go on a web browser, and that's how you can join. And then you can see, you know, I have videos that only members can watch. I have member-only live streams that I'm going to be doing, and then I have podcasts that are going to be coming out eventually one day. And all of my live streams are on there. Like there's a lot on that member site. I'm trying to grow it, and it's a lot of work. So bear with me. The way you see it now, I would imagine 6 months from now is going to be twice as better. So yeah. So thanks again, everybody. I appreciate everything, Wyatt. I appreciate you coming on. Wyatt's a new friend. A lot of you guys I know, but I like to invite my friends on the live streams because it's a good way to hang out with everyone and just talk stuff. And Wyatt, if you have any Miata stuff you want to say it now. If not, I'm gonna hop off in a minute. I'll give you guys like another minute if you have any more questions. I end up losing my voice if I talk too long, which you'll never notice on camera because I have a problem with my esophagus. I have a gastritis issue, and it's basically like imagine bruising and burning, you know, that you would get on your skin, like in your esophagus, and then it ends up making me lose my voice. It's the worst. But let's see, everyone, sell your Cruise and get a Miata. Well, I like both cars for two. This is the last thing I'll talk about. I like both cars. There's two reasons for that, right? So the Cruise, the Gen 2 Cruise is fun because, I can fit my family in it. and it makes turbo noises and it's slammed to the ground. I mean, well, my version of it is anyway, slammed to the ground. It looks cool. It's a really nice looking car. When I go places, my version of it kind of looks expensive because I have a lot of mods. And then the Miata is a very, the Miata's 1,000 pounds lighter, and from the factory makes the same horsepower. So if you put them against each other, the Miata right off the bat's faster. My Cruise now is faster than my Miata, so I just have to make the Miata faster. However, I did just take the supercharger off. I'm talking about stock power. With the supercharger, I think the Miata was faster than the Cruise because it's 1,000 pounds lighter and had boost. So they're cool in different ways, and I like having both, especially since the Miata's manual and the Cruise is manual. So I think everybody should just own a Cruise and a Miata. Forget getting rid of it. Okay, so one last thing. Why do I need a name? Just wanted to say I've been loving the kit and the methanol kit, even though I don't post much about it. That's fine. I wish more people would go after the methanol injection kit. A lot of people have unrealistic budgets for their cars. They want to make. A lot of people in the Cruise world, they want to make 350 horsepower, but they don't want to spend more than $1,000. If you want to make power, you have to spend the money. And if you want to make, and you know what? Some people buying used stuff, they might be able to get 300 horsepower, but you also might be building a car that's going to have air-fuel ratio problems. You're going to have parts fail. If you want to build a car reliably that you can drive every day and that can put down 350 horsepower, and you want to do it in a way that's safe and you can protect your engine so you don't have to worry about piston problems, an air-fuel ratio gauge, methanol injection, intercooler, like these are things that you want to put in the car because they'll help your car perform a lot better and longer, Yeah, you're right, Wyatt, you got to pay to play. And Wyatt, he's a racer too. He does road course racing, so he knows, man. He has a Miata that he goes road course racing with. Now, here's the thing. If you go to a racetrack in a Miata, that car has, from the factory, about 120 horsepower, and it's this little, unassuming sports car. But somebody at a racetrack that sees a Miata doesn't sit there making fun of a guy in a Miata. They pretty much are expecting to get their butt handed to them by a Miata. The cars are light. We're talking 2,200 pounds, 120 horsepower. They can make, out of that same engine, you can get 350 horsepower out of them, or autocross, I'm sorry. Same thing though, autocross, lap times are lap times, whether it's autocross or a road course. When somebody sees a Miata at a racetrack, they know a Miata might be there, and it means business when it's there, especially yours. Yours is black with pink accents. A guy with a car that has pink on it, he can have pink on his car because he's probably going to blow your doors off. Just remember that. And same thing goes for the Cruise. The Cruise right now, most people aren't doing autocross on them. I know like one guy that does like autocross, or he does like road course racing. One of these days, the Cruise is going to be like the Miata, where when somebody shows up to a racetrack, they're going to go, "Oh, look out for that car." I want the same thing for the Cruise community that the Miata community has. I want somebody to look at it and go, "Yeah, it's a cool car." So thanks again, everybody. Have a nice night. I appreciate everybody who came. Thank you, all of my friends. Thank you, new friends. I appreciate everyone, and have a very nice night, everybody.